What's up guys, Chad here with Greenlight Shooting, and I hope you enjoyed that little intro movie video. I've been having a lot of fun with laser ammo, and I wanted to show you kind of how it can be used in sort of a fun, hopefully attention-grabbing sort of way. So today we're obviously talking about laser ammo. We're talking about their reactive targets as well as their laser ammo that lets you interact with the targets. So if you're not familiar with laser ammo, they've been around for a long time. They have a lot of great products. They do things from like interactive like scenarios for big time ranges and military and law enforcement and stuff like that, all the way down to these interactive targets and laser ammo for the consumer. So we're gonna break up this review into kind of two sections. We've got these targets coming in a little bit. I'm gonna set these off to the side, but first I wanna talk about the actual laser ammo cartridge. So if you're not familiar with like what laser ammo is or how it works or anything like that, basically it's this little cartridge right here, and this will actually fit inside a gun. So for instance, I've got my Glock 19 here, and we can actually use it and demonstrate it with the Glock 19. This fits inside your chamber, and rather than having a primer on the back, it's got just a little button, and that firing pin is going to hit that button and engage like a split-second laser pointer. It's going to send out a laser, and that's what's going to like react with the targets and stuff like that. This is the premium 9mm kit. It comes with the actual cartridge, a battery, sort of a safety bar here that goes through your barrel, an extension for that safety in case you've got longer than like a 4-inch barrel, I think, and then just an extra safety precaution that goes on the end so that you always know that this is what's in your gun. You're dry firing, you're practicing, you're not ever loaded with real ammo because this thing's running throughout your entire barrel. There's no way real ammo can be loaded into it. So I'm going to show you how to load this thing up. First of all, we take out the cartridge, and the cartridge will actually just unscrew here. So the top just screws off, and then we're going to place the battery inside. It's kind of like a little bore sight setup. So we'll put the battery in and then tighten this down. Longtime viewers of the channel know my hands get super sweaty, so I put these gloves on to help out with that. That's what's going on there. But yeah, so this is the cartridge, and then we're going to load that up into this Glock 19. So I do not have a magazine in there right now. I'm going to lock this slide back and then slide this guy right into, drop it down into the chamber, just like that, kind of push it forward. Now, at this point, we've got this thing loaded up and it would work just fine, but it's nice to have that visual cue that we're completely safe all the time, which is what these are for here. So it tells you to thread this up through the barrel and then screw it in, but I noticed that it pushes the cartridge up away and it just never holds straight. You can hold your finger in there, but that scares me that this slide's gonna slam down on my finger. I don't know, so I visually inspect that that's the only thing that's in there. I have no magazine in there, and then I do drop this slide, and then I take this safety bar, go in through the barrel, and screw that in. That's not the way the instructions say. It's probably a bit frowned upon to do it that way, but I just can't get it to work properly while keeping that open, and I feel even less safe putting my finger in there where the slide can jam it. But anyways, so now that's sticking out the end, you can see, and you can easily see that we're safe, but to make it even a little bit easier, we've got this little red tip here. We're just gonna screw onto the end. And now we know for sure, from far away, everyone around us knows this thing is safe and it is loaded with the laser ammo. So now, since this gun is a striker-fired gun, I do have to rack it every time. But you can watch right here, if I pull this trigger, you can see a little red laser dot light up, and that is what's going to engage those targets. Now, in this little system, this little premium cartridge, like I said, you have an extension here, so say we were using a 1911 with a 5-inch barrel or something like that, you can throw that extension on there, and then in addition, it comes with a few. If you don't have like the reactive targets over there, this system does, if I can get them out of there, this system does come with some reflective targets here. You can see if I set that there, and if you're across the room and you shoot this, it really lights up decently. I mean, you can see whether you hit that or not, which is pretty cool. And it does come with a bunch of different ones, so you can set them up, you know, across your room at different angles or whatever like that, and have a bunch of different stuff to shoot at. Now that we've got this gun all set up with the laser ammo though, the real fun is with the reactive targets. So I'm gonna set this guy off to the side. Here is the reactive targets box. Open these up, and this is the 3-pack. So you can see I've got, these are the bases right here. So I've got 3 different bases. I've got 4 different targets that I can choose from, and all these targets just slide into the base like so. And that's all we got. So the base here, I'm going to show you the base, has 3 different buttons. The first button is the power button. That turns everything on. The next button here is how you want to be alerted if you hit the target or not. Both of those lights mean that it's going to both beep and light up if you hit it. One or the other, you can have it just beep, you can have it just light up. So you have a little bit of options there. And the next one is the mode. Now there are 5 different modes that you can use to shoot this target with. Now keep in mind, these targets do connect with each other, which is very cool. So the first mode is like a steel plate challenge, right? So all these are gonna light up yellow, and then as you shoot one, it's gonna go off, next one goes off, next one goes off, and once all 3 are off, they'll relight yellow. And that's a really cool setup. I mean, these, from the instructions, I think they can work up with up to 10 different targets, which is, but yeah, so the steel target is mode number 1. Next up is what they call chase the ball. This is where, let me push this mode button here. So there's A, B, and C on here, and I'm putting them all to B. So right now, only one of them is gonna light up green. Once you shoot that one, another one will light up green, and you just kind of have to chase the green light. And then the third mode, set these all to C on here. This one's a little more responsive. So this time, one at a time is gonna light up either green or red. If it's red, it's a no shoot. If it's a green, you shoot it, but it's only gonna give you a couple seconds to shoot it before that green goes away. So it's causing you to react a little bit more and look around a little bit more, which is really fun. And then finally, you can also do double time of that. So you can do the same setup, green or red, but this time it's moving twice as fast. So those colors are changing quick, and you've got to react even quicker. I will tell you on this mode, it's a challenge with something like a Glock that Striker fired, where you have to rack your gun every single time you fire it. If you had like a revolver or just a double action gun in general, you know, you can just pull that trigger obviously, and you don't have to rack that slide every single time. Racking the slide every shot isn't a huge deal once you get used to it, but you know, it's not realistic. I mentioned 5 modes. I think the 5th mode is just completely off. So it's just the targets by themselves. They're not communicating to each other. You just set them up where you want. When you shoot them, they'll light up and beep at you. Now, in addition to those modes, what I found the best way to increase the difficulty with these is placing them at different angles, right? So rather than setting all 3 on a table, I'll set one on this wall, one on that wall, one on that wall, requiring me to kind of lean and look different ways to be able to see it. Once I got better at that, I started obstructing my view of them. So I'd put them, you know, halfway behind something, or I'd have to lean out. This thing keeps falling over. I'm just gonna put it down here. You know, or I'd have to lean out around something to be able to get an angle on them. And that started to become a little more fun. So you can challenge yourself in different ways beyond just the 5 different modes. So let's talk about the validity and the pros and cons of these that I've found after using this system for about a week. I mean, the biggest pro for me is obviously the fact that you get to use your personal gun. So, you know, the Glock 19 is what I carry most days. So it was really cool to be able to get lots of hands-on use with this. You know, maybe you can't afford to buy ammo to go to the range and practice every day. This gives you that option of practicing your draw, getting off a shot, like feeling your dry fire and making sure that you're pulling that trigger straight back where you want to, practicing your front sight focus, bringing it up and firing. And it's really cool, man. The biggest pro for me is that it's your actual gun. The other pro is that it's really fun. Honestly, I had a lot of fun with this system. You know, once I got used to it, my wife came home and her and I played with it for, you know, all night. And then my brother-in-law played with it. And as I mentioned before, you know, we'd set up kind of courses for each other. I'd go around the corner and they'd set up the 3 targets, and I'd have to come around and use cover and try and find the 3 targets. And it became really fun, and, you know, we'd time each other and stuff like that. So it was cool. I really do like that about this system. And I guess the third and final pro is simply that it works. I never had issues with the laser hitting it and it not responding. I never had issues with pulling the trigger on the Glock and it not shooting a laser. Like, it works. every time it worked. And I think that's a huge pro that needs to be said. Now let's talk about the cons. One con, and this is a minor con, is when I got this thing in the mail, I wasn't super impressed by it. Like, you know, this is the box that it came in. It looks kind of straight out of the 90s toy aisle to me. You know, this box, the instruction manual, it looks like it was, you know, made on a Windows 98 computer. You know, you look at the bases and they're very, very simplistic design. It looks like an old school 1990s like video game. I don't know. I mean, that is what it is. Once you start playing with the thing, that all goes away. But presentation and the fact of how dated it looks and feels does come into conversation. The next con is, as I mentioned, you know, friends would come over and stuff like that. We'd set up courses for each other and we'd have a lot of fun playing with this. But in the wrong hands, that could be taken the wrong way. It could very easily make this gun into a toy, which is clearly not. And I mean, it totally depends on how you're using this thing, who you're using it with. This can be a very, very serious training tool, which I think it is intended to be, but it can very easily turn into a toy. But if you're shooting with someone who's, you know, never shot a real gun and they just start shooting this and they start having fun and they start forgetting that they're holding a real gun, all of a sudden this gun becomes a toy. So I think that's one thing that you have to be very careful of with this. Finally, the last con is price, man. I looked this price up, and so this 9mm premium cartridge setup is $150. And then these targets for the 3-pack, I believe, are $250. So $250 here, $150 here, bringing the total here to $400. I think that's pretty steep, to be honest. And a lot of it could be the presentation of it. You know, if these looked really modern and sleek and high-end, maybe you can get away with that price. But right now, these do not. Like, I thought this entire thing when I was using it, honestly, was like $100, $150 for everything here. So the price blew me away when I looked it up. It's really, really useful. It's really fun. I don't think it's worth $400. I'm gonna be absolutely honest. The laser cartridge system at $150, I could maybe go $100 for this premium kit because it does come with these little targets. You know, I mean, maybe $100 there, it does give you something to shoot with. And then maybe in the future, maybe this kit's another $100 for an add-on. But another $250 on top of $150, I think it's grossly overpriced. So that is my review on laser ammo. Now here's the thing, this video showed you everything. It showed you how it worked. But if you're someone who likes to read about the product, see it a little more in depth, view the tech specs and all that, make sure to go over to Pew Pew Tactical's website and check out their full write-up on the product. That is the first link in the video description down below. Make sure to tell them that Greenlight Shooting sent you, let them know what you think of the product. Show them some love, man. They're a great site, and they made this whole thing possible. So check them out. If you're interested in laser ammo, their information is down in the description below as well. So yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought of that movie intro. If you want to see more of those, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. We've got like 5 videos a week, almost daily videos now. Share the video if someone else might enjoy it. And we'll see you next time on Greenlight Shooting. Thanks for watching.